Okay, so now it's November 21st, 2022. I got these in today. They just came in. Right? You can see there's the mung beans. These are the ones that make the bean sprouts that you buy in the store. And then this is kind of like a similar bean, right? But what I'm noticing here is, if you look, now this product is from China. Okay? The production date was in 2020, people. I told you, right? The companies, they're not getting new stuff, okay? You can't find corn. You can still get popcorn from this company, but you can't get the actual just dried corn by itself since 2020. Because I bought mine in 2020, and they had absolutely none in 2021, and they haven't gotten any more, okay? Same thing here. Product of Argentina. You can see that, right? The popcorn was from Argentina as well. And then if you look at the production date, June of 2020 as well. Now, the thing about beans is it's like a seed. Many of them will still sprout. How many, I don't know. But even though it's from 2020, depending on how it was stored, and these feel really good, right? In terms of, this is probably the original package, because you can see, unless, I don't know. But anyway, I'm just saying that I'm sure these are sproutable, but in light of the date on them, before I order, because I was going to order 2 more bags just to have on hand. And I still might do it, people. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to... honestly, I didn't want to open up the bags. I was just going to store them away because I've got other things. But I'm going to open up these bags and I'm going to see if I can start sprouting them. Because I bought them for sprouts, people. That's basically why I bought them. Right? So I'm gonna see if these are sproutable, and if they're sprouting for me, you know, more than less. If more are sprouting and less aren't, because, you know, or maybe they all might sprout. I don't know until I try it. But if they sprout, then yeah, for sure, I'll do it again, because, you know, the supply chain, people, that's the issue. And that problem, I don't think, is going to go away anytime soon, because it's being used as a weapon against the people, okay? The common folk, right? The paupers, right? Food is a weapon, right? So, they're on some sort of a bandwagon where, you know, the grocery stores are full some days. Well, not completely full, but they... you know, it makes you feel like things are getting back to normal, where you go next week and it's clear to see that there's something wrong. And before they will stir up a citywide panic, right, they will stock up the shelves a bit more so that the people calm down, thinking in the back of their minds everything's going to go back to normal, when behind the scenes there's nothing normal about what's going on, okay? And it will probably get worse, right? For those below a certain income. Now, you have to remember, people, I haven't been to the food bank in years. I'm talking years, okay? Over the summer, when I was working out in the yard, when Pastor Granny was alive, I wasn't going to their house and taking vegetables and doing whatever, you know. I was in the house doing this kind of stuff. Or when I was in the yard, I was working in the yard, and Pastor Granny would come by. She'd ask me why I wasn't coming to her house. I told her because I was busy. She'd come by. She'd see boxes on my porch saying, "What is that?" I'd tell her I'm doing food prep. You know, if you ever run out of bread because the grocery stores stop giving you bread, you can come to my house and I've got wheat. Okay? Right? So she'd leave a box behind here and there. throughout my videos, you see a box of potatoes with a box of tomatoes, and I'd come in. I have the video of me processing those potatoes and processing those tomatoes, and then, you know, she'd come by again in another 3-4 weeks or whatever it was, asking me why I wasn't coming by. I told her because I'm busy, you know, I do a lot of food prep, right? That's when I was buying those big ass jars, and I was buying 25-pound bags of this, that, and everything else under the frickin' sun, and I'm still buying. Okay? And I'm showing you right now that there is a problem when you're getting a product that was processed in 2020, because this is what's left on the website that I'm ordering from. Okay? This isn't new stock. This is obviously old stock, and the stock that they have as it runs out isn't being refilled. And as it's not being refilled, they're actually taking some of the items off of their website, like the corn. The corn that I bought from them 2 years ago in 2020 is not even available to look at and think that you could order it when the product comes in, because there's no sign of it coming in. This is what I'm trying to tell you. So, you know, take everything that you see at the grocery store with a grain of salt. Seriously. Seriously. Because there's a lot of nefarious activity going on in the world right now. Alright? And whoever is warmongering, trust me, they're making good money off of what they're doing, and they don't care who they hurt. Okay, so I went online and I looked up an American company. It's called nut.com. They do deliver to Canada. Oh, I can't remember what state they're from, but it's somewhere that way. It's quite far, really. Besides that point, they have mung beans, organic, and the other bean that I bought, and theirs are like, just came in like in January and December. I think the mung bean just came in on January 4th, and the other bean came in December of last year. However, they're from China. They said they scrutinize, you know, they do the best that they can. So they don't guarantee that they sprout. All right. Fair enough. I don't think these ones on Organic Matters are advertised as sproutable. Although when you read the comments, people have sprouted them. That's why I bought it. However, on the bag, it says here, and it said this on the popcorn, right? But this is kind of a little bit of a common knowledge kind of a thing if you read up on sprouts. But here it says, if our products are intended to be used for sprouts, that's what I'm thinking of, that are to be consumed raw. Whenever you do sprouts, it's usually recommended that after they're sprouted, you cook them up a bit, because you just don't know if there's bacteria growing into the sprout, because when the seeds are processed, they come in with bacteria, microbes or whatever, on the seeds themselves. Unless, of course, they've been specifically treated for sprouts that could be eaten raw, and they're sold that way. Okay. The FDA guidance documents to the industry must be strictly adhered to. This product has not been processed to control microbial pathogens. So in other words, if you're going to sprout these, which is what I've always planned to do, you have to cook them technically before you eat them. Otherwise, you're risking coming into contact with microbial pathogens that breed however you're sprouting your bean sprouts. In this situation, we're going to try to see if these things even sprout, considering all things said. I don't remember where I got those from. I'd have to go into my videos. But anyway, it's something that I bought that's obviously sproutable, right? So, And then we've got some of that wheat. That looks maybe like a rye. I don't know. It was some kind of wheat. I had a little left over, just wanted to see if it would sprout. So we're just going to see if these sprout. Okay. And I'm going to use these little things. I'm going to do this in jars. If they sprout, I'm cooking them. I'm going to put them in a meal of some kind. I had never intended technically to use them raw because I'm a little nervous about microbial pathogens. Unless, of course, I know I'm using a product that was specifically designed to be sprouted and eaten raw, and it had been, I guess you could say, pre-treated to prevent this from happening. Anyway, here's my water that I boiled yesterday or so for the cucumbers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of water in each jar. I'm hoping that's enough water. I don't know if it will be. I guess you soak them for 10 minutes. Drain out the water. And then fill up your jars with water. Soak them overnight. It's daytime. I'm going to do it today. Right? And get them started. And then tonight I'll rinse them at 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Because it's almost noon now, right? So I'll just soak them for 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours, whatever it is. And then I'll rinse them. Maybe I'll boil fresh water. Because I guess when you're soaking them, it's best to have filtered water. You can rinse them under tap water once you've done soaking them, but it's best to use filtered water when you initially start to soak them. So I don't have filtered water, but I have the boiled water. Oops, sorry, wandering eye. I'm going to try that now. Okay, so now I'm going to drain the water. I just shook it a bit, right? And if you notice, this one's not so cloudy. And these look like teeny weeny little mung beans. Alright? These ones might be grown for sprouting. Okay? I can't remember. Because I put a whole bunch of sprouts. Like, I bought sprouts, right? For sprouting seeds for sprouting, period. For microgreens and whatever, right? So this could be why it's not so cloudy. Whereas these, you can see it's cloudy, right? You can see. But that's not to say they won't sprout. It's just, it's best to cook them after the fact. Because they're not designed for sprouting, even though they're organic. And that's why nut.com in the United States doesn't guarantee that they will sprout, even though they sell organic mung beans as well. And then this is the wheat that has a little bit of, you know, but not much, right? So now I'm going to drain them. I don't know if I'm going to have enough water, but I'll boil some more water and then, oh no, you just have to, yeah, you have to soak them for a while. So hold on. Okay, so now I have to find a spot for them. I'm going to put them in on the counter over there by the kitchen sink, but further to the back, so I have to move a bunch of stuff. It's noon now, so I don't know. I'll have to empty them out in a little while, like maybe 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours. Every seed is different, so I'll do it around maybe 8 hours, so maybe around 8 o'clock or something. I'll empty them out and then run them under the tap, I guess, and then let them sit on the counter and maybe rinse them off before I go to sleep. Who knows what time that will be. And then get up in the morning and rinse them off. Apparently these things are supposed to sprout like really fast, so I don't know. We'll find out how fast. It's 1 to 2 days, like these mung beans are supposed to, right? So we'll see. We'll see if they do, right? Hold on. Okay, so I'm just going to keep working on this little video here. Do you see this? This is, I canned this last night to finish up these oranges. I do have a few more to do. Oh my God, mandarin oranges take all day. Besides that point, I used some of the larger oranges that were kind of like dry inside. Not necessarily really dry, but they weren't as sweet as the smaller ones. I thought I don't know, be frugal, but I don't think I like the result, because if you notice here, can you see it's dark? Oh my Lord. What can you see? Do you see? It's right there. Right? You can see it again there. It's an orange. That's an orange. It's in the actual orange itself. So, anyway, I got a couple of jars. You see, this one went to the bottom. Do you see? Okay, I didn't notice it when they weren't cooked. But as soon as they became cooked, I pulled the jars out of the canner and I could see it. Here's another one. Do you see? Now, being that these are going into long-term food storage, honestly, I don't know if I want to leave them there. More than likely, they're okay, but for what it's worth, and in light of what's going on in the terms of, in signs of the time, you see, there's another one. Okay? Now, I still have a few more oranges left, so I think what I'm going to do, just for my own peace of mind, see this one here, you can kind of see it. It's right here. Right? It was one or two oranges that were larger, that were kind of dry inside. You know, they weren't the sweet, plump ones. I should have just used them. There's another one. So, basically, here's another one. It's scattered because I mixed everything up. That's what happened, right? So, I think, you see, here's another one. I think what I'm going to do, now these are canned, okay? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel another batch of orange. I don't got that many left, but I've got a few. I'm going to peel them, obviously dehydrate the peels in light of our times, and then I'm going to open these up, take out what I don't want, mix everything back up with the new ones, and then re-sterilize my jars, get new lids, because it's an acid, so I don't want to use these again, right? Okay? So I'll use new lids, re-sterilize my jars, take out those oranges that were obviously overripe, right? You don't know these things until you try. See, here's two of them together. Do you see? Right? I don't think it would cause a problem long term. I think it's more just, you know, here's another one. You can see. But I don't like it. So, you know, I don't, here's another one. Do you see? Right? So I'm going to do that. See, these ones are nice. Like, really nice. I'm, like, really impressed with these ones. Right? Like, really impressed. I like these ones. These ones look good. So, I'm going to have to redo those other jars. Okay, so I'm going to end this video. Keep it short. So, basically, I need these jars. And I don't really want to order more if I don't have to. I got, like, lots of them around. But they're all full. And being that this is not quite full, I think what I'm going to do is re-jar these up either into 1.9 liters or in a liter. Okay? I've got Tisha out and about shopping for jars for me. And then that frees me up a jar for the beans that I just had come in. Now, I did put some beans in one jar, big one, that I emptied out. It had old flour in it, so it wasn't anything that I'm too worried about. Anyway, I do have more mandarin oranges peels in the dehydrator, so this will definitely fill up. So whether I divide it into two separate jars and give myself another big jar, or whether I fill it up and leave it like that and put it away for long-term storage, remains to be seen. The point is we got a full jar plus a little extra of the mandarin orange peels, candied up, and oh, they are so good, people. And so are these ones. I put them back in. This is the navel oranges. I put them back into the dehydrator, and I let them dry a little longer, because when I put them in, I had them in a bag, and then I put them in a jar, and I you know, some people like them chewy. These are going in long term, so I wanted them really, really dry and hard and crunchy. So currently they're in that state, right? And as long as I don't open up the jar too much, it should be fine. So these are really, really good. And in light of that, I did those baby gingers. I think the next time I come across a ginger, I'm going to slice them up, give them a quick blanch, and then or like boil them. I'm going to treat them just like I treat these. Slice them up, boil them once, drain it, and then candy them up with sugar water, boil it down, and dehydrate them. And I think that would be really good as well. Okay? I'm excited to do that when that time comes. In the meantime, I'm almost done now. Well, I am done, unless I've got another 1 or 2 containers downstairs. But anyway, these are now going to go downstairs. I'm not doing vacuum seals yet. Right? Vacuum seals. I'm not doing oxygen absorbers yet. When I go down and I start putting things away again, and I've got certain jars that need to have oxygen absorbers in them, that's when you go boom, 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 boom all at one time and then put things away. And these will go in a cool, dark place. Okay? So we got 3 Greek yogurt. Now, there's a particular yogurt that I really, really like. So when I find it, it's that Olympia. I will buy it for myself, and I will do it again to put in with these ones. Okay? But other than that, there's no great need to do it at this point. I'm buying yams, jars, sugar, and vinegar. And there was something else I wanted in there. And then, of course, we've got just yogurt, right? This is just miscellaneous yogurts that weren't really... And some of them were Greek yogurts, but they were a different brand. They didn't taste like the one that I liked. So anyway, they're all just mixed up. You can see it's a fair amount. All right, we've got 1 full liter here. We've got a bag here that's going to fill up another jar. I do have a jar. I just have to wash it. So we'll get 2 full liters. Plus we've got, right, the... what is that? Pint size, 2 of them. And then this one is fruit yogurt, peach, and a blackberry of some kind. I just mixed them up together because they were fruit. They don't recommend doing it, but whatever. This was stuff that I just wanted to not go to waste, and, you know, thinking about the future here, people, in terms of what our governments are doing. I don't believe that in some parts of the world it's going to go back to normal anytime soon, because I know how these things operate. They come in and they pick off, and then they let everything settle down for a little while, and you think your life is getting back to normal, and that's when they come in and they sabotage it again. And they do it like a pattern every couple, 2-3 years, right? And they use politics to do it as well. That not only do they use their public union sector workers to do it, but they use the financial political part of it to do it. Okay, so in light of that, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing now. We know that I'm going to be opening these up, taking out the ones that obviously were compromised, and I'm going to peel the other few that I have. It's just a small bowl, so, but these things take all day. That took all day, people. Right? That's fickle. But in the end, when you get a nice product, it's worth it. So I will peel what little bit I have left for the most part, dehydrate those peels as well, because I'm telling you, it's worth it. I highly recommend that you do it for yourself. Okay? Do it while you can. Okay? Before the oranges become really scarce because of orange blight or transportation problems, or because you can't afford to buy them, whichever one it is. Right? It's like playing Russian roulette these days with food. So, and then I'll just open them all up, put them in a big pot, and reheat them, and throw in the new oranges. And I still have a little bit of syrup from last night, so that will compensate for the new oranges, and I'll rejar them up, and I'll probably get a few more jars out of the deal, which I'm happy with. Right? And then this here, I bought these little lids. I'm going to end it on this note. I bought these little lids, not to use, because I'm not really into colored lids. And they're like multiple colors, and I bought 2 different packs to get on Amari to start learning colors and counting and stuff, right? So I need to actually order again anyway, because I want to have enough, like, of colors, like 10, 1, 2, 3, 4 of blue, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 10 with yellow, and you know, just so I can try and, I don't know, teach them how to count and teach them about colors. But in the meantime, I'm going to use this one because it came with a ring. Can you see that? That little plastic ring that I was just pushing down? Well, I've been taking my jars for granted here in terms of I've been buying new jars, right? I don't get out very often, so I don't get to the thrift store very often and stuff like that. So I've been just working with a bunch of new jars. Okay, so I go to grab this jar, right? It's a new jar, right? To, what is it called? Put the fruit yogurt in, right? Which this one I'm going to keep upstairs, and maybe I'll keep this one upstairs. I'll keep one of each, right? I'll keep regular yogurt, one of the Greek yogurts, and the fruit one. I'll keep these all upstairs, and I'll put them underneath my cupboard. I am not putting them in my fridge because the coldness, the moisture, is going to put moisture into the jar, which is going to, your powder. And some of these yogurts had oil or something in them. I don't know what the hell they had in them, but they weren't all 100% yogurt, I can tell you that. I think you can add in gelatin into yogurt, so maybe that was it. Some companies use gelatin just to thicken it up a bit. All right, the point is, this jar here, I don't know if you can see, but it's compromised. Where is it? It's right here. Oh my Lord. Can we see? Where is it? It's through the manufacturing of the jar.
They're always just tests. It's all positive tests.
It's right here.
That's what it's always about.
Anyway, it's through the manufacturing of the jar. It's not chipped. It's not chipped, but it's warped. So I couldn't even use that for canning even if I wanted to. So when I can those pears, that could be very well a compromised jar through the manufacturing process, because lately I haven't really been checking my jars for chips because I've been using new jars as I've been going through batch to batch to batch. Like these are all new jars, right? New. So I'm just pointing that out. You know, as much as you sometimes take things for granted, it's a good idea to double check. Okay, but for something like this, with this, that's why I'm going to use this for now, right? Because it has that seal. I don't know. I don't even really like these. These lids don't even really work that well. Hold on a minute. Okay, so not that I'm doing a product review here, but honestly, these lids don't even work that good. Okay, they don't screw on. Sorry, they don't screw on nice. And they're going in crooked and they're tight and they're stiff. If you're going to do plastic lids, just the simple white ones, I don't know, I ordered those a long time ago. They work really, really nice, these ones, but I don't use them very often, right? I bought these specifically. I have a whole thing of multicolored lids, different sizes. I have the wide mouth and the small, you know, the regular mouth, right? But I bought them for Amari. So I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to put that back for Amari. What I did, though, is I did take the ring, in light of the compromise in the jar, and I put it on the inside, and then this way it just helps to keep it sealed, right? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put those someplace underneath my cupboard, and I'll try and use them. Don't leave them out on the light, right? Put them down below somewhere. Just hold on a minute. Okay, and then these ones, after I'm done, will go downstairs, right? And then I will put oxygen absorbers into them. And then as I go about my days, more than one, right? And I have a little extra money to go buy the type of yogurt that I really, really like, then I'll spend 40 or 50 bucks, buy the tubs, come home and dehydrate them all and get myself a few more jars to compensate for what I feel like I'm lacking right now. But all in all, I think I did pretty good considering everything. And don't forget, some of this yogurt was extremely out of date, right? In terms of some came from September, some were in November, right? And then, of course, we've got January, right? So don't ask me which is which outside of yogurt, like, right? Just the Greek yogurts were up to date in terms of more recent, where these ones was a Maj Podge of whatever. So, but they were good. And now that they're in a dehydrated state,
Story to get people to believe it.
oh yeah, they'll be fine for a while anyway.
Like I said, what it's all about.